The natural world is wonderful. The mountains, canyons, waterfalls, and coral reefs of our Earth are catnip for the soul. They encourage us to leave our grey, lifeless cities and venture out into the wild, and for some dummies, completely trash whatever we find there. Want to experience the natural wonders of our planet? You better make sure you get there ahead of these bozos. Duck and run. Mother Nature spent hundreds of thousands of years directing wind against a lump of Oregon rock, lovingly shaping it into an uncanny likeness of a duck's head, only for a bunch of teens in 2016 to destroy all that hard work in a matter of seconds.
Dude, holy
The so-called duckbill was a popular tourist attraction in the Pacific Northwest, with many visitors to Cape Kiwanda choosing to bypass the safety ropes and pose on top of the sturdy sand formation. So, it really took some effort for the vandals to ruin the fun for everybody. The worst part? In a reverse Scooby-Doo, the gang of teens totally got away with it because no one meddled enough apparently. They were never caught or identified. Even if they were, Oregon state law means they'd only get a fine of $435 for mucking up the duck, which is just daffy. You'd think they'd get a bigger bill.
You're despicable.
Cruisin for a bruisin. In March 2017, the captain of the British cruise ship Caledonian Sky drove his humongous vessel over the top of a delicate stretch of Indonesian coral reef known as the underwater Amazon, which sounds like how Aquaman orders his cheap HDMI cables. But it's called that because of the rich and fragile rainforest-like biodiversity on display. The ship grounded on the reef as part of a bird-watching trip for the nearly 100 tourists on board, badly damaging some 1,600 square meters of coral. To make matters worse, the ship then called in a tugboat to drag it off, causing yet more damage to this fragile ecosystem. Needless to say, the locals weren't happy, prompting a massive outcry and at least one death threat via YouTube under an old video of the crew dancing to their version of Gangnam Style. Hopefully, careless coral murder is no longer part of the Caledonian style. Troop Goof. The so-called goblins of Goblin Valley State Park in Utah are one of the most surreal sights in North America. Huge, mushroom-shaped boulders perched atop narrow sandstone stalks. Formed over millions of years by a fluke of erosion, these rocks can be found nowhere else on Earth. For 99.9% of visitors, they're a natural marvel. But for Boy Scout troop leader Glenn Taylor and his fellow Scout supervisors, they were a hazard. In an alleged flash of paranoia back in 2013, Taylor realized that if one of these teetering rocks happened to be shoved by an idiot just as some scouts were passing beneath, it could kill them. Rather than let this unlikely scenario come to pass, Glenn decided to beat his hypothetical idiot to the punch as his scouting buddies cheered him on.
Wiggle it. Just a little bit. Whoa!
170 million years of history crassly obliterated. But what's worse, pointlessly destroying a treasure of the natural world or singing this song while you're doing it. Seems kinda like a toss-up. Cliff Snopes. Look up from the base of the Ireland Cliffs of Moher and you'll see 300 million years of history unfolding spectacularly before your eyes. Climbing 390 feet out of the Atlantic, the cliffs are world famous among geologists, ornithologists, and plenty of others who have job titles ending with ologist. So you can imagine the ologist community's collective horror when they strolled down to the cliffs one morning in 2013 to find they'd been plastered in terrible graffiti. Covering an 8 by 6 foot section of cliff, the graffiti replaced the natural beauty of the coastline with an abstract design resembling those Zubaz pants your gym teacher wore in the 90s. Fortunately, the graffiti was cleaned off by experts without damaging the cliffs. The work was tracked to a French art collective who spent a couple of weeks tagging spots throughout the Emerald Isle. We know this because they uploaded their exploits to Vimeo, but were soon hit with so many negative comments they yanked the video and shut down their social media accounts. 300 million year old cliffs 1, garbage art 0. One tree kill. For centuries, the tree of Tenere was the only tree for 250 square miles in the blistering heat of the Sahara Desert. As Atlas Obscura illustrates, its mere existence in such a hostile environment due to its unusually deep roots was a miracle. So, of course, in 1973, a drunk Libyan truck driver, following a centuries-old caravan route that passed nearby, struck the ancient tree, splitting it in half. Today, a metal sculpture stands where the tree once stood. Sure, the driver wasn't technically a tourist, but he had to have been drinking like a spring breaker on a booze cruise to not avoid the only obstacle in sight for 250 square miles. Bro! Thanks for watching. Click the grunge icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.